Hello, welcome to another episode of Opinions My Take, and it's good to be here. And of course, as usual, we're going to look at a topic that we will discuss. I'll give you people's opinion on it, and then I'll give my take. That's how we do it. My name is Yemi Serifade, and it's good to be here. And we'll be talking about wrongful imprisonment, wrongful detention. That's what we'll be talking about. Something that is priceless that we do not value when we have it most of the time is freedom. You know, it is when you can actually do whatever you want to do. You know, when you have your freedom, you can go anywhere you want to. You can go to the gym, you can go to the mall, you can go anywhere you want to go. But then, God forbid, there comes a time when something happens and, you find yourself being convicted wrongfully. And there are a lot of people here in the world, not just Nigeria, globally, that have been convicted for some things they did not do, and then they have to go to jail. I was reading about someone that went to jail as a 12-year-old and came out as someone that is almost 60. And I begin to wonder that this is really, really, really sad. Now, the questions there begging for answers is, what happened? Was it that the people who needed to do their job well, to investigate what is happening, what happened in that situation, didn't do their job well? Was that the case? That an innocent man will find himself in jail for many years. So you can imagine when someone finds himself or herself, that all of the adolescent life, the growing up and everything, you find yourself that you're spending it in jail. You can't go anywhere. You can't visit friends. You can't do anything. And then the fact is that they now find out that you didn't commit that crime. And this happens when you are 60. God forbid. This is a terrible thing to happen to anybody. But that is the case of so many people right now in the world. People do things that they never knew would land them where they shouldn't be. For instance, wrong association. You might be visiting a friend who is into something and you didn't know, and then in the next minute, police are there running off everybody, and you're like, nobody wants to listen to you. The next thing, you're thrown in jail. And it becomes really sad that you find yourself in this situation and life is happening outside and you are just confined inside. There's nothing you can do. All your life, you're spending it there. There's no case of, I want to go and do my master's, I want to develop myself, I want to get this job, I want to go on vacation. You're stuck in confinement, and it's painful. It's painful because this was not what you projected for yourself. This was not what you prayed for yourself, but it happened. And you're wondering, how did I get here? And until God gets someone that would actually get you out of this situation, some people actually die there. Life imprisonment, no parole, nothing. They die in that situation. But for some that, thank God for God, something happens, person who committed the crime confessed, or they opened the case and they found out. But the painful part of all of this is that even when they find out, that part of your life, that major big part of your life, of that person's life, is gone. That life is gone. Those things you dreamt of doing, or those things you wanted to do in your life, the children you wanted to have, that marriage you wanted to have, everything is gone. Then you begin to wonder, where do you start from? Are you going to start from age 60, age 50, age 70, if that was the age you were released? A lot of people have so many things to say about this, but let me just take about 2, 3, 4, and then I'll just give my take on this whole situation. Okay, someone said this is so heartbreaking and there's plenty more in prison wrongfully, and this is so true. There are a lot of people in prison who are there wrongfully. They don't have any business being there. They were there because probably they were just walking on the road and there was a raid and they just find themselves there, or they were there because they visited a friend, like I mentioned earlier, and all of these things. It could be anything thing, and then you find yourself there. Well, the good thing about prisons, outside the country is that they can actually get education, they can learn all kind of handcraft, and I think in some prisons in Nigeria, maybe this is attainable as well. But thank God for that you just don't go there and you are just there waiting till the day you die or till the day the sentence is over or whatever. But then what we're saying is, can you really get back your life after all of this? Can you really, really, really be fulfilled again? It's really painful. It's something that is painful, and it's something that the police, government should look into, making sure that nobody goes to prison wrongfully. Someone said this: people are doing many years for something they didn't do. God, you sit on high and you see what's going on down here. Please help those who really need you the most. And I think this is a very good prayer. And it's one prayer that we should imbibe, in our daily devotion. When we are praying, when we are interceding for people, we should actually pray that God should help those who are in prison for the wrong reasons. It's a good prayer when you're praying, when you're interceding for people, when you're interceding for nations. Remember those in prison that are there for the wrong reasons, that are not supposed to be there, that have no business being there. Remember them, and so that God can actually help and speed up their getting out of jail, so that they can live the purposeful life God has actually prepared for them before that incident. But robbed of freedom of life and put in such a position, we pray this does not happen to anyone I know, and even anyone I do not know. That's what this person is saying, that if you have to be robbed of freedom for life and for things you did not do, that we pray not. And this person said in conclusion, very, very sad situations. How many people are serving in jail being innocent? Well, what this person is trying to say is that it's sad that people are in this situation and a lot of them are actually innocent and they do not have any business to be in jail. But there's this situation of wrongful imprisonment that someone shared about, and after narrating all the ordeal, I just want to take this part where the person said, on June 14, 2022, when they failed to produce the woman, the judge delivered a ruling declaring, on June 14, 2022, when they failed to produce the woman, the judge delivered a ruling declaring that the charge against me was trumped up. That was how the court discharged me, but I had spent 4 years and 4 months in prison for a crime I knew nothing about, Ariyo lamented. By the time I got out, my wife had left to marry another man, leaving our children with my older sister. I lost everything, and I had to pick the pieces of my life and start afresh, he said regrettably. And this is one of the things we are saying about things like this, a lot would happen. The man said the wife left, dropped the children, and then, he's about to start, moving his life and fixing the pieces to make meaning. And it's really, really sad when things like this happen. My take on this, really, I think government, police, everybody in the law, justice, enforcement, whatever it is, you need to step up. You need to do what is right. You need to investigate well. You need to make sure that what is happening, it should be important to you that no single person should go to prison for what they've not done. I think it is really, really wrong, and it is sad, because someone's life is in jeopardy here if care is not taken, if due diligence, if justice is not taken. Someone's life is in danger. So I mentioned earlier, the prayer is important. Let's put these people in prayers. Anyone, nobody, whether you know the person, you don't know the person, doesn't matter. You're interceding. Intercede for those in prison that are not supposed to be there. And yeah, prayer is good, but then it's not just about prayer. It's also about, making intentional acts to make sure this does not happen, like petitions, like putting in policies and making sure that policies are put in place to make sure that no one goes to jail when they are not supposed to. I know a lot of people will have a lot of things to say about, one relative, one friend, one person that's been to jail when they're not supposed to be there. But whatever it is, let's just keep doing our best from our own corner to make sure no single person goes to jail when they're not supposed to. And with this, I'm saying, may God hear our prayers, and let's keep doing our best to ensure that life is good for everybody, and freedom is something that anyone can hold and say, I'm thankful for freedom. Thank you for joining me on the podcast today. Remember to like, share, subscribe if you have not subscribed, and to all those that have subscribed, a big thank you to you. Subscribe and share, and remember, don't give up praying, and let's make sure we have a great country. Take care. Bye-bye.